I was not actually told if they're doing the official one-time restart for this race. Do you have any information on that?
I'm working with...
Let me check.
What?
That's a bathroom break, I think.
Oh, okay, they do a...
We're still doing the restart? Okay, so previous ACRL seasons, we would have one start and then we would have a restart for the race. We have Nerd. What's his word?
So the official word is there was a miscommunication on whether it was live or not.
Okay, so it was following the ACRL one restart to give drivers extra time. So we're going to be off here. Is this the restart official?
It is.
Okay.
There we go.
All right, so we are off once again.
So we got the major pile up here in turn 1. Let's see how they all get through.
Front of the pack looks
so
good.
far, AJ Jordan goes 3 wide to Petrohead and Tony, but they settle it out and go 2 wide to the second turn.
Yeah, it looks like it's all folding in there.
Rim Jansen is pretty close. A little bit of lag spike from me there. However, it all appears to be coming together. AJ Jordan runs wide into turn number 4.
Let's go ahead and reset the cars to pit. Oh, we're in the pits. My bad. Oh my fucking god. That's my bad.
That's not a problem. However, I'll keep providing the commentating. Down into number 8, Rune Jansen's Albert Sutton are your 1-2. Twizzler follows in 3rd. Actually, a distance developing in between number 2 and number 3 as they run up through the Schumacher S. Turn number 9, turn number 10. No incidents so far. The team spread out, or the entire line is spread out. And they're now running one by one into turn 11 as the leader takes you through turn number 12.
I did not realize that not qualifying now puts you automatically in the pits. That's good to know.
As long as we sit there and just pretend we're AFK.
So yes, that was my bad. I clicked exit thinking it would remove the menu, but no, it took me out of the race.
One person not seeing in this is Nicky. I'm wondering where he is at. And the first lap complete, Rune Jansen's your leader, Albert Salton, number 2, Twizzler's number 3rd, Megadeth, Monolith round out your top 5. AJ Jordan, Thomas Tomella follows quickly in the 6th and 7th position, Petrolhead and Tony Rubicello, and Exo8 round out your top 10.
We seem to have lost Nicky.
I believe we have. I believe we've had a disconnect from Nicky, our pole position. And so that rounds us down to only 21 racers here at the Nürburgring.
Albert Sultan keeping right on Jamson right now, looking for a spot to overtake. We seem to have a very tight pack in the middle of the field as well.
Yep, Sebastian M has actually had an off in between turn number 7 and number 8. He seems to have been gotten back on track. However, he is in the last position. So he's got some work to do to keep up with Sweatbox HD and Jerry. Looks like Rune Jansen's and Albert Sultan's going to take lap number 2 from everybody with 58.5s on the race pace. Looking pretty good as mid-58s seem to be the standard from our leaders as they run into turn 1 in a huge braking zone into the Yokohama curve.
Why don't you say that again just for fun? We have the teammates AJ and Monolith both right next to each other in 5th and 6th place, so it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with their battle, if they're going to be battling or trying to push each other forward.
I don't think we'll see much battling from those two. I think we'll just see them work together and push through the field and see if they can get a 1-2 finish is what they're working. I know Megadeth is going to be working with his teammate if he can, Thomas Tomala, who falls in the number 7 position after he is in the number 4 position.
Looks like AJ and Monolith are the only 2 side-by-side teammates that we can tell right now.
Agreed. Thomas Tomala are pretty close though. Only the teams of Monolith and AJ Jordan separate them.
Megadeth getting very close in some of these turns. I think he's going to be looking to try and make a move very shortly. Trying to use the superior turning ability of that McLaren to get some speed off the line.
Looks like Exo8 has a cut on the track lap 3, and it appears to be an NGJ chicane. And actually, it looks like Exo8 and Tony Rubigello are going to be going at it into turn 1 as Exo8 completes a pass into turn 1. Let's see if he can make it stick. It's Nissan versus McLaren into the Mercedes complex. And
going a little too wide, getting pushed outside. Oh, he was looking to squeeze on the inside there, but couldn't get through. Very close fight here. This pack of Tony, Exo8, and GTO Fire are all very close in fighting right now. You can just see through that turn right there how much more speed the McLaren can carry through the corners with that superior downforce. Oh! Sultan was looking to make a move, but he just didn't have the speed. The Nissan pulled away on the straight once again. I think that's going to be a repeating theme for this whole race. Oh, and we have a bump. Sultan bumps Jansen. Jansen is backwards. Sultan is going to continue. Oh, this is not good.
I'd say Albert Sultan is not very happy with that. Where did our number 2 position? Rune Jansen's actually.
Jansen's looks like he's going to end up around 5th or 6th right now.
Yeah, Albert Sultan's going to end up in the number 6 position. That's not looking too good as
Jansen's moving all the way down to 10th, it looks like. Oh, that was not good for either of them. Sultan was just looking to use his superior turning ability. He was carrying a lot more speed because he can have a later braking point. But he did not anticipate, it looked like, the Nissan's braking point as well as he should have. And that just led him to rear-end him, and they both spun off.
Yep, Rune Janssens is going to fall back to the 10th position after leading this race. Like we have our first disconnect. Sebastian seems to be unhappy with an incident that happened on track. We'll have to view it on the replay at a later time.
Oh, it looked like we had an overtake there. Couldn't tell from whom. XO8 is looking to push a pass on Petrolhead right now. He's going to go onto the outside using the speed of the Nissan. Going too wide into the chicane. Oh, but he's going to fall back.
Looks to be a pretty decent battle in between Tony Rubigello and XO8 here as they go into the last turn number 16, and onto the front straight. Let's see if XO8 can capitalize with the extra Nissan power versus the McLaren and see how he does down the straight here, especially with the slipstream as he crosses the finish line.
I don't think he's going to be able to carry it. Oh, we're going to have to see here.
Oh, he does.
Oh, he
XO8
does.
Makes the move on the inside. Let's see if he can hold it together. Tony Rubigello runs wide. That may open the door. XO8's going to be on the outside for this turn. Let's see if he can pull it together and do the undercut.
No, he cannot stay on the outside, which means... Oh, he's going to...
Takes a peek, and Tony Rubigello says, nope, not today. I'm going to close that door right now.
Yeah. That's very clean. Back and forth, giving up the inside line, going onto the outside, especially with that turn. You don't really... Keeping the inside line for the first turn of that does not necessarily mean you are going to be able to come out in front once you through all those turns.
I agree 100%. XO8 takes a peek into turn number 6 and says, no, I can't make that, so I'm going to follow in line and follow into turn 7 as he runs down to turn 8 in the tight hairpin.
What was that? GT3 Fire looks like it's going to be trying to make a move. That fall back, though, not going to be able to do it. Oh, we have a good battle in first place right now between Twizzler and Megadeth.
Let's see how they do. Now, Megadeth in the McLaren, I believe Twizzler is running the Nissan, is he?
Yes. Oh, no, Megadeth is in the McLaren.
Yeah, Megadeth in the McLaren, Twizzler's running
Twizzler
number
in the
1
Nissan.
in the
Yes.
Nissan. Let's see how they do onto the front straight. The Nissan should pull away, but Megadeth may have the first sector advantage as they run into the Yokohama curve in the Mercedes Arena.
Yep, that gap's just going to get wider and wider. Oh, looks like we're once again we're gonna have some battle with Petrolhead here, trying to make a move on Sultan.
Yep, Albert Sultan goes into turn number 4, into number 5, and Petrolhead is closely behind in the Nissan. Let's see if he can make the pass down into turn number 6. He does around the outside in turn number 6 down into turn number 7, and he's going to make it stick all the way through turn
Very
number 7.
clean, using the power of that Nissan to just drive by, making it look easy. But I think a lot of that, he was able to get a very fast jump coming out of that turn. He probably got on the gas as soon as he was able to, and was able to use that power to push ahead.
I agree. Out of turn number 4, I think he took the wider line in turn 4 and 5 and was able to put it down a lot easier. Looks like Twizzler has pulled out a gap going down into the Avon Bogan and into the NGK chicane.
We're following Sultan here because this looks like to be a very close race. The teammates Monolith and AJ Jordan, are still right at it. They are consistently pushing themselves up into 3 and 4 right now. Looks like Vafel's going to be trying to hold off Runes Jemison right now. But we have a really good battle here between Vafel and Jamson right now. They're going to be going too wide.
Turn wide into turn number 6.
They're going to drop back down.
It's going to be Nissan on Nissan, the Wash Me versus the Clean Look. Let's see if things get dirty down into turn number 8 in the hairpin.
No, Jamison was not able to get speed out of that turn.
I believe Jensen may have the run here on the straight into the chicane. Let's see if he can capitalize on it in the braking zone as he pulls up beside Waffle. He thinks better of it and reassumes the racing line to pull in behind.
I think that was the right move. He didn't look close enough to be able to make a valid move. We're using the front wheel on back wheel analysis for ACRL rulings on what is a move and what is an attempt on an overtake, because you cannot, along with that, you can't block back and forth. You can move one way to try to attempt someone, but you then can't go backwards. Oh, going too wide into turn 1. And Jansen is going to get the position. Looked like Vaffel just went a little wide there.
Does appear so. Ran him wide, and Runes uses the muscle of the Nissan and the extra weight to say, I'm going to push you to the outside and take this and secure his move up into the position. Looks like we have another team combo. Tony Rubigello and Albert Sultan are setting their sights on Petrolhead 247 as they come in the chicane. It's going to be the double McLaren versus the Nissan of Petrolhead. And he may be able to keep ahead, but they may have the first sector advantage on him. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the first sector. However, Twizzler completes lap number 9 of 15. Followed by Megadeth, Monolith, AJ Jordan, and Thomas Tomella to round up your top 5.
still have a very close three-way battle between Jansen in 10th, Baffle in 11th, and GTO Fire in 12th.
That is, only under a second separates Rune Jansen's in 10th to number 12 position of GTO Fire as they round into round 4, turn 4 and turn 5 going into turn 6.
Look back of the pack, Sweat. Looks like a Sweatbox is going to be looking to try and make a move into 17th position on Pascal.
I think actually the last position there is Sweatbox HD versus Flatliner. And
oh, you're
Flatliner
right, I'm sick.
Yeah, Flatliner was previously last into the Mercedes arena and looks like he's completed that position pass from somewhere in between turn 4 and turn 7.
The gaps up in front staying pretty consistent. Megadeth not able to make much time up on Twizzler, if at all.
I agree. Looks like Monolith and AJ Jordan and their dual BMW have dragged along Thomas. They're going to put their sights on Monolith in the second position. However, they put a gap in between the petrol head and the teammates of Albert Sultan and Tony Rubigello. Looks like the Nissan of Sweatbox HD is having the issues we were previously talking about. He just can't get the car to turn, or he's worn out his front tires already in only the 10 laps that we've done so far. So Flatliner in the McLaren has pulled a big gap to him and is hopefully looking to chase down the Pascal WB and Jiri.
So we're approaching lap 11 now of 15 coming into this race. So we're 2/3 of the way there. Monolith and Jordan, I don't think are making as much of a move as they would like to be right now. I don't think they're taking advantage of this teammate opportunity to try and push themselves ahead as much as they could.
I agree, and it may just be that the BMW's maybe doesn't have the cornering power or quite enough straight line power to catch the McLaren of Megadeth.
Let's ride along with Tumis right now to see just what he's probably going to be trying to do. You can see right here the McLaren getting close in the corners, but then just losing it because the BMW is going to have more straight line speed.
Twizzard leads the field for lap 13. Excuse me, lap 12, and he's going to have 3 laps to go. In the Nismo, followed closely by Megadeth in second. Monolith, AJ Jordan are your 3 and 4. Thomas Tomale rounds out your top 5 with a big gap to Petrolhead in the 6th position. Tony Rubigello and Albert Sultan are teammates in the number 7-8 position. XO8 and Rune Janssens round out your top 10.
We have a very close battle here in 16th with Pelkinen trying to take over Robble.
And we do, that's BMW Power versus McLaren. As they run up to the Schumacher S, let's see if the BMW can capitalize on the high power. Looks like Thomas Tomale has actually passed AJ Jordan into turn number 1 of lap number 14. Thomas looks to secure that position for a top 4 finish. As they run down into turn number 6, let's see if AJ Jordan can capitalize and maybe make a return pass on him.
Oh, that's going to cost him a lot of time. He was going in to try and make the turn, but then he had to brake suddenly because he didn't have quite the right angle, and then he lost a lot of his speed. Jordan, that is.
Looks like Albert Sullivan and Tony Rubigello have put a catch-up on the Petrolhead 247. That'll be in the for the 6th, 7th, and 8th positions coming on to the front straight for the final lap. And actually, that is the completion of the race. My lap meter was completely off.
See, do we have any more close battles coming in? Oh, what was that? We have Pelkinen trying to make it. He looks like he's going to try and make a move to the final corner.
It's like Rob Lewis 93.
He's not going to be able to, though. Then finally in the back we have Sweatliner and Flatliner and Sweatbox. I don't think he's not close enough to be able to make a move. Oh, it was close, but yeah, the Nissan's just going to power away. Alright, and that was our race. Why don't you go over the positions?
Alright, let me grab the race winner. Let's ask how he did and see how he put that win together. We'll check on his setup, ask all the details, and see where we go from there. Think of anybody you want to interview as well. Okay, Brent Thomas, he wants to listen. Let's bring Albert Sultan. Let's bring Megadeth. I want to discuss his race with him. And let's bring AJ Jordan.
All right.
I want to get the replay pulled up just real quick. And I'm going to hit a few points and discuss a few things. So Twizzler, just kick it off while we're all waiting. So how does it feel to come away with the number one position in the number one race here at the Nürburgring?
Wow, I never expected to win, considering the really fast guys from the qualification. I didn't really get a good lap in for quali. Faster guys such as Mega seemed to put their best lap in, and while I managed to jump in the start thanks to the Nissan Nismo Konami code power, I managed to pick third from there.
There we go. So put together a pretty decent lap time. It's hard to put a lap time against a 156. I believe it was a 0.5 or 0.7, 0.6 faster than the rest of the group. So
yeah,
coming from that, I think you had a really good, impressive finish after the contact in between the leaders and the number two position. You took advantage of that and remained consistent. So how did you go about setting up the car? What did you set up the car for with this track? Yeah, and Thomas just corrected me. It's a 156.45 for the final qualifying. So back to how did you set the car up for this particular track?
Well, the Nissan is usually very understeery, so I tried to reduce the understeer a lot. I also lowered the ride height, as well as I didn't do anything with the tire pressure. I put the rear wing to 10 for the people who know what that does with the Nissan.
Right.
You could say I enabled the dampers in the front because they are set to 0 by default. I put them at 1, and besides that, I just lowered the differential basically to gain some turn in.
Okay, so some pretty simple adjustments, bringing some stuff online that wasn't, and you said you took a high aero down setup, especially for this track with the short straights, high speed curves, and it seems to worked out really well for you.
Yeah, amazingly enough, I managed to stay very consistent through the whole race. I was on the edge of my seat, to put it that way.
Yeah, so let's go to... And actually, my thing is way too loud here. Let's go with Albert. So Albert, tell us about the first big piece of drama that we have happen in the NGK chicane with the leader and yourself. Tell us what set that up, what happened. Give us the details here.
Well, it was very simple. I was pushing very hard to try to overtake him. It was very fast on the straights, but slow in the corners. So I tried to be close, approaching the chicane, but a little mistake made me brake a little too late and give him a tap. And then he spun around. I tried to wait for him, but he was waiting for the whole field, and I decided to resume. And that was it.
Okay. How about Megadeth? Megadeth, you put a really good finish together in the number 2 position, finishing only a second and a half, just slightly over behind our race winner Twizzler. So how did the race piece together for you, and how did you set up the car for success here?
Yeah, the race went really well for me. So Twizzler got me at the start, but we had like the first 3 or 4 corners we were just side by side. That was pretty awesome. But he finally took my place, and after that I saw his shiny little ass again and again during all the race. But it was really fun to try to chase him, and I really couldn't have done better. So congrats to Tweezer, awesome win. And for the setup, I didn't change a lot. I mean, I'm not very good at setup, so basically it's a low aero setting. It seems to work best for the McLaren, and a low power differential because it's easier to not uh, doing oversteer out of the slow corners. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, I was quite happy to put the 3 best drivers of last season behind me for this race.
Very good, very good. So we'll move on to AJ. AJ, how did your race go with a solid finish of a top 5 finish right behind Thomas and in front of Petrolhead? How did the race end up for you with your teammate finishing in the 3 position? You both put together a really solid start for your team and yourself.
Thank you for reminding me that my teammate beat me. No, the race went better for me than I thought it would. The qualifying was ridiculously difficult. People banging in mid 56s is outrageous. I have no words for that. But the race pace was a lot more encouraging for us. The pair of us were probably on the leader's pace if we just qualified a bit further up. Me and Monolith were neck and neck for the entire race on the identical pace, and then towards the end I had one opportunity, tried to make something of it and made a right hash of it, predictably. Not really my finest day for racecraft today. And so Thomas sneaked in front. I had another go at getting past him, but on the last lap, taking risks is a bit silly. First race of the season and all that. So no, miserable qualifying. Some amazing drivers in here now. Our pace at the front is astonishing. And yeah, but the race was encouraging for us. I think it's going to be an amazing season.
Good, good. Maybe if it wasn't the finish or the qualifying you would hope it for, maybe this might be the push to get you guys going in the right direction to capitalize at the next track.
Yeah, the Z4 is a bit of a jack of all trades, really. As a car, it has good straight line speed, not quite as good as the GTR, has good cornering, not quite as good as the McLaren. So as we go to this is definitely a McLaren track, and I found that we had very similar pace to the GTRs. It's just the axle makes them very difficult to race, and we were a couple of seconds behind by the time we cleared into P3 and P4. So if we can qualify better, I think we can really race for top results.
I agree with that 100%. You've hit the nail on the head there.
Also, congratulations to our astonishing pole position time and Twizzer for his win, and Monolith for beating me in the same car, which I'm totally okay with.
Well, there you have it. So some good finishes here from the Nürburgring GP, round 1 of the ACRL League. Twizzer brings in the home. Megadeth second, Monolith third, as you can see on your screen. Number 4, Thomas, and number 5, AJ round out your top 5 for a solid finish. And just as AJ said, some astonishing qualifying times from our pole sitter.
Yes.
Lucat, do you have anything to add for us?
Not too much. I think this was a quality tier race that we can expect to see in the future from the EU. I think this is going to be a very close season overall in terms of points. And I agree that it'll be interesting. This was a McLaren track, and as we go through different tracks, we're going to see how the different racers can use their cars to their advantage.
I agree 100%. So I believe that is all from us at the Nürburgring GP and for ACRL today. We sign off and say America.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Tune in at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for the NA series, which I promise to be just as fun a race.
This is Formula One.